All right. Good afternoon. Time for the traditional chit chat while I wait to make sure that my encoder is doing things correctly. And then looks like Twitch is go and YouTube is go. Excellent. Today, that's not how you spell dashboarding. Today we're going to be doing some survey data analysis for the feedback survey from the event that I did last week. Yeah, so this is, something that I would be doing not in front of people, except I needed something to do for the live stream today, and also I needed to do this, so I'm efficiently combining things. Excuse me. I was going to do this earlier this week, but I forgot about the PyCon call for papers deadline, so things got shifted. Anyway, let's get started. So this is the feedback form. I've removed some of the information from it. So I removed the date that responses were made and the time, and then I've shuffled them. And I've also removed all of the free text response fields. So this is more or less anonymous. I don't think I promised anonymity to the people who are doing the feedback survey. And there's about 100 people, so I'm not too worried about, sharing people's data in this. I don't think you'd be able to re-identify anybody. And there are a couple of columns which have sort of weird formatting because these are directly taken out of the, what is it called? The survey feedback software, the service that we're using. So I'm definitely gonna have to do some reformatting. These ones in particular are from like a radio button choose the level thing that was a very efficient way of sharing information and was not, unfortunately, really great for producing super good looking output. You can see I'm gonna have to do some text cleaning. There's a lot of semicolons in the text, so I'm thinking that this stream is probably going to be 80% data cleaning and 20% data visualization, but then at the end of it, we'll know whether people liked the event that I did or not, and I hope that they do. I'm really emotionally invested in the analysis I'm doing today. All right, and my gosh, do I not want to do this in Python. This is like cleaning up tabular data and then doing stuff with it is like the core of what I love R for. All right, so I do want the tidyverse, R-A-R-Y, tidyverse, and that includes all of the packages I'm going to want, except for, library, there we go. I'm probably going to want the clean name package, the clean names function from the janitor package, one of my favorites, just super quick way to turn unusable column names into much more usable column names. What should I title this notebook? Dashboarding. That's how you spell dashboarding. Feedback analysis. It's not going to be super pretty because this isn't public facing. This is just for reports. I mean, it's public facing now because y'all are watching, but little sip of tea. Not something I'm planning on sharing. And then let's read in our data. Actually, let's call it survey. And we want to read in the CSV, and it's in the input folder, and it's called dashboarding with notebooks feedback.csv. So this gives us a quick little visual of all of the columns that we read in, and as you can see, these are absolutely not usable in their current state. They've got spaces in them, they've got punctuation in them. Yeah, we're gonna have to fix that up. All right, so let's start working on that. The first things I want to do is I want to take, what did I call it, survey data. Let me add some empty cells down at the bottom so I can have my coding in the middle of the screen for you guys to look at. The first thing I wanted to do was clean the names, and I think it's clean underscore names, yep. And then I'm just gonna check out the head once I've done that, because I'm gonna have to do some renaming, I imagine. Yeah. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and rename these by hand. That's maybe not the fastest way to do it. So let's use the rename function, also from the tidyverse, to do that. Can I? Nope. Sorry, so what I'm just thinking about is I'm gonna have to copy and paste these because I can't get TabComplete from them because they are column names. So one thing that I could do, actually, let me do the cleaning of the names in the same call as the reading in of the data. So if we just look at the head of survey, we should see that we have the exact same thing that we have now. Boop, boop, boop. Yep. Does rename change in place? I don't remember that off the top of my head, so I'm gonna look it up really quick. Question mark rename. So what I'm, yeah, that's not a function. So what I'm thinking is make big. There we go. Named object to modify names by name, not position, replace. Okay, so this would be, if we were going to do each one as a separate row, named character vector with new names as values and old names as names. Value name. Okay, so it's going to be like a, okay, so it's looking for a specific data structure here. All right, so here is the vector. So, okay, so I can do the vector and then pass that in, and that should be a little bit clearer. Okay, so we can do this. So this is the first column that I want to name, and I think I'm going to call this exercises completed. And then the second one, because this is a vector. So I'm just going to do it this way so I can use TabComplete to get the names, because they're really hard to type out. And I'm too lazy for that, and I know that I am going to make a typo like I just did and spell some things wrong, and then I'm going to be in trouble. I think I missed one in here. And the reason I'm not doing this programmatically is because there's not really any way that I could take these sentences and then pull out the most informative things. And I can't have live streams or recordings. I can't have made the survey questions. So the file that you get back, and there's no way to change this that I can find out from our the software that we use to give surveys, gives you a data frame or a CSV where each column header is the text of the question with spaces, with punctuation, all that jazz. Which is a bit of a pain in the butt, because if I want to have a good column header, I'm going to have a really uninterpretable question, like exercise completed. Like if I just walk up to you and say that to you, it's not gonna get the effect that I want. Will apply. So I'm just going to make this into a little text vector, and this needs to be a string, and that needs to be a string, and the whole thing needs to be a vector. So the reason that I'm putting this in a vector that I'm going to then pass in is so that if I want to repeat this analysis with a different survey later, I can just replace the questions and what I want them to be called instead. Instead of, and I'm using control and arrow keys to jump over every word. How can I rephrase this in the shortest possible way? Would do more. And this is definitely not PEP 8 compliant, but also we're not using Python, so that's fine. All right, delete, delete, delete. How would I say that? Notebooks, helpful. So I'm creating an object that I can edit just the object and then keep the rest of my workflow the same. So this would be the only thing that I would need to edit if I wanted to redo this with a similar survey. So I would have to repeat myself less, which is efficient. Helpful videos, and then this one, let's call this difficulty, and then let's call this one daily length, I guess. That's not really clear either. Exercise length. Okay, GTH. So now we will have ENGTH. Oops, and we are in R and not Python, so let's use the style marker. The assignment operator that the style guide I'm using suggests, so that I have code that looks good. All right. So we've got this new name, so it's a vector, but it's a named vector. So this exercise is completed, will apply, etc. are the items in the vector. And then this, how many of the exercises did you participate in so far? Do you plan on applying any of what you've learned in your job? These little bits are the names. And this is the, zoom in here. Okay, I can't for whatever reason. I'm zooming in and it's not getting bigger. So here, this replace argument takes a named character vector with new names as values and old names as names. The names are the long discussion of what the long version of the question, and then the blah, 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 blah. The values are these bits. So order does matter there. All right. And that, unfortunately, I'm going to have to do by hand, but I only have to do it once. All right, so we're going to take our survey data and we are going to rename new names. And then let's check out the head, and the head should now show us that our data frame, all arguments must be named. Did I miss one? I thought I did real good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. All arguments must be named. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's check this again. D equals C. Dis equals displacement. This is the right syntax. These are all in double quotes, right? All right, let's check out the structure of new names really quick to make sure that it is in fact the data structure that I think it is. Named character vector, yeah, length 7. Did I miss a column? That's the most likely thing. So let's just look at the dimensions of our survey really quick. And if y'all see anything, feel free to shout out. 8. Okay. So I am missing a column. That's interesting because I don't think you have to rename every single column. Or at least you shouldn't have to. Okay, the one I think I'm missing is survey. I think it's the one I asked about the forums. Yeah. So let's fix this. Oop. And let's call this, these two names are not actually parallel. So let's change that just to make it a little bit better looking, a little bit easier on the eyes. And this one, helpful. Let's call it forms. And so the reason that I would want to have the names here all be similar is because if I want to do some sort of process that depends on the name of a full or partial match of the name, I can do that. I think there's a filter like or select like argument in the tidyverse where you can pass in a regular expression or just like a little string of text. And if it finds that string of text in the column name, it'll give you all the columns that match that. So that is helpful. All right, now it should work. It did not work because I forgot a comma. Error, all arguments must be named. I wonder if let's see, I wonder if it's a white space thing. I think my white space is right. Maybe it's not. Let's try this. See if this helps. I did warn you this is going to be mostly data cleaning. The glamorous life of a data scientist. All right, still no dice. And it was, okay, let's see in this one. D to C, rename column D to C. So here's the name of the column, yes. Updating variable X with a result. Maybe I need to specifically say that this is replace. Blah, 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 blah. Must be column name or position, not a character vector. Structure, names. Must be a column name or position, not a character vector. Okay, I'm pretty sure that at some point it said that it does not modify names by position. So that's a great error message that says something different than what the documentation says. So one of these is wrong, A. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Vivek says, this is so close to real life. Glad I'm attending. Yep. I just used this function and it worked fine. I thought I knew how it worked. Perhaps I was incorrect in this. All right, must be a column name or position, not a character vector. C. Okay, so when there were multiple arguments, maybe I have to do one at a time. Let's look for dplyr rename multiple. The dplyr function rename makes this easy. Yeah, I know, it's great, I love it. I don't know why it's not working for me today. Does it not actually take in a vector? Okay. I see. So my problem here is that I am passing it in a named character vector. I don't need to have created this as a single object. I need each item in my character vector to be passed individually so I can have as many arguments as I want. All right, so I think I can solve my problem. And this is going to take away the nice modular thing I was mentioning where I can, beautiful. The nice modular thing I was mentioning where I can just correct this white space a little bit. Just have a single item. Unknown columns, helpful videos. Is this backwards? Renaming makes this easy. iData, rename iData, country name equals. It's backwards. So here, the name that you want is on the right, and the column name that you are putting into it is on the left. I think it needs to be the other way around. So that's great. Yeah, and I can't, I mean, if you guys can think of a way to do this programmatically, I mean, obviously the copy and paste in here I could do programmatically, but I think it is too small to be worth the, you know, time that would take. And I'm going to zoom out a lot so that I can see everything at the same time. And I promise I will make everything bigger as soon as I'm done with this very tedious copying and pasting, so I don't have to scroll back and forth sideways. Get rid of you. And this one, okay. If it turns out to be backwards again after I do this, I will be very sad, is how I'm gonna feel about that. This is one of those things where I use this function enough that you'd think I'd just sort of remember which way to do it so that it works. But apparently not, as it turns out. Excellent. So here we have the full call that renames each of the columns. And then here is our data frame that now fits on one page without having to scroll sideways. So this is progress. And I'm gonna assign this back to survey rather than making a new one. It's a very small data set, so if I have to read it back in, that's not gonna be a big deal. I'm not worried about that. So, what do I need to do now? So I'm just thinking about what's going to be helpful here. So I don't want to drop NAs. So you'll notice that I do have some NAs in my input fields here. I still want to know if anyone has filled in anything, then I want information when I'm looking at that particular question. So I think I'm going to go through each by each, starting with the number of exercises completed, and then looking at whether people will apply it, and then whether they do more, and then whether they found the notebooks helpful, the videos helpful, the forums helpful, and then the difficulty level and the exercise length, and how they felt it. And I think it was pages, stats, dashboarding, event, feedback. Typing in URL by hand, is this the correct one? Because I don't remember. Yeah, no, it was not that actually. Boarding event, was that the original one? That wasn't the original one. Okay, well, never mind. I thought I could look at the questions on the thingadoo, the page where we were serving them from, but apparently not, and that's fine. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do any more data cleaning right now, and actually I'm gonna put all of this in, whoops, a single function like this. So when I read in my data, it immediately gets cleaned and I do all my pre-processing and I don't need to touch it again. All right, so, and I'm actually even gonna hide this cell. This is not important. Let's look at the number of exercises completed. Completed. Yeah, and this I'm just sort of interested in, you know, did people do all 5 days? Did they do just a couple? Did they not get around to doing any? Which is fine. I just sort of want to know how it worked out for people. Vivek says, converting data value types to ordered factors. Yeah. I've been thinking about that because for basically each one of them, there is an option that is like, this doesn't matter for me. So like I'm asking people if they will apply this in their job, and some people aren't doing a job where they do data science. So obviously that's not going to be applicable for them. Maybe. We'll see when I get there. All right, so we're going to plot. We're going to use the survey data set For aesthetics, we're going to use exercises completed, C-O-M-P-L-E-T-E-D, and then I'm going to do geom bar, and then for the statistic that I'm interested in, I think it should be count. Oh, and I did in fact use a pipe instead of a plus. And this should give us, the number of exercises everybody completed. So it looks like most people who filled out the survey did all 5 days, which is great. And not super surprising because we sent out the survey at the end of the week. And I'm also actually up here, I'm gonna import Gigi Ping. Nope. I'm going to import Gigi Theme. And Gigi Themes, is it called maybe? Yeah. I'm gonna just use a really quick theme here. What are my options? No. Maybe classic? Something lightweight. Yeah, that works. And then I'm going to have the title be number of exercises completed. Bam. Okay, so it looks like most people did most of the exercises, which is really nice. I'm pleased to see that. All right, so let's hide this input because we don't need to see the code that we use to make the graph. And let's do graph 2. And I'm gonna look at the head of survey again, just so I can remember what all the questions I asked were. So this is, will you apply what you learned? All right, so I'm gonna have to do some munging here. So I'm gonna take the survey data set. Actually, I don't need a comment to say what's in this plot because you can look at the plot and also it will be in the title. Survey, and I'm going to select just, also that's not how you spell number. You guys are just gonna let me do a number of exercises completed. I think it was clear what I meant, but also not how it's spelled good. And then will apply was the name of the column because I just need the one, and then omit. Or is it na.omit? Yeah, it's na.omit. So I'm going to remove all of the NAs, and then I'm also going to filter ones that are not this. I'm not currently working in a data science position thing because I don't especially care about those folks. No, that's not true. I do care very much. It's just less important whether or not that's going to be immediately professionally relevant for them because they're not in a relevant role right now, if that makes sense. And then we should be able to immediately pipe that directly into our plotting. Whoop. Except somewhere I've misspelled survey. Oh, I don't actually need to say survey. And it's not a function. And I should have 0. All right. Filter. Oh, right. So it should be, I still need to specify what column to look at. I'm looking for ones that do not equal that. Excellent. Okay, and NAs were automatically omitted. We didn't need to worry about that. And I do want to reorder these Actually, I should probably just make this the question of the comment, the text of the original question. Whoop. There we go. And I'm gonna do a new line in here. Actually, I might not need the new line. Yeah, okay, no, that works. That works. So the new line is just to wrap the title in a place that makes sense instead of a random place. Or having it go off the edge of the figure. And I don't actually need Y. I don't need X labels or Y labels. I think the argument for that is ylab. And then I think it's xlab. It might be underscore, and this nothing will happen. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Should actually probably be how many of the exercises did you participate in so far? Making charts. It's like I've reloaded the page accidentally is exactly what it's like. I don't know, there's something sort of soothing and just like making a lot of charts. You see what you have at the end. Oh, and I actually do want ggplot specify tick interval. So I want a tick for every number from 0 through 5 instead of only every other number. All right, scale y continuous. Oop. I'm gonna copy that and then modify it just a little bit. Sequence from 0 to 5 by 1. There we go. And this this sequence function is just built into R if you haven't used it previously. Starting point, end point, how much to skip by. I know there's something in pandas that does the same thing, or NumPy, but I don't remember what it's called. And this one, whoop. And I don't need the Y labs and I don't need the X labs because I think it's clear that it is count of people. Maybe it's not actually clear. Maybe Y lab should be count, like count of respondents maybe. I'll put it in. Number of respondents. I just want these to be like something that someone can glance at and be like, oh yeah, yeah, good. Yeah, that looks good. That looks great. The only thing I might do here is reorder the chart because there's sort of like Vivek was mentioning, there is an order to this, so probably not is not in between, maybe in yep. It's on the other end of the spectrum as yep. So let's actually, yeah, let's reorder factors in RD plier. Just go over how to do that because I think that that is a thing that happens kind of a lot and it's just sort of nice to know. All right, so we just use mutate. And our factor is actually called will apply. And actually I want to do this after the filtering happens. And then the order that we want, I think I want, yep. Except I think it's going to need to be in quotes. And then probably not. And then, oh no, I wanted maybe in the middle. Maybe. Probably not, of mode function not found. Fact reorder, species equals fact. Reorder species MSW. Okay, so maybe it's not supposed to be in quotes, in which case this parenthesis that we have, and definitely the space that we have, is going to lead us into trouble. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Are reorder factors with spaces. Pick the most of your factors, decide to reorder factor levels. UBC. Oh, this is Joanna Bryson's. It's definitely going to be to say migrator as well, because she works on the tidyverse. She's a core developer, works for our studio. I think it's still technically on sabbatical from UBC. Tell me more about reorder. All right, reorder country intercept. Note that the row order is not changed by reordering the factors. Reorders on the fly. So this is reordering based on something else, a function. Oh, maybe I have completely misunderstood what reorder factors does. I think it might do, it analyzes. That was one too far. And I can't get it back. Oh, excuse me. Factor, column. All right. Word, factor, word. This line reorders the factor in the same order. Factor, word, unique, word. To deal with any duplicates in this category. Better way to do it programmatically. Let's look at the documentation. I think that's going to be the best bet for us here. Pop this open in a new window that for some reason I can't zoom in on. Still can't. Sorry, I know it's small. Lurkwhat says, R is bad and you should feel bad. You know what's really bad is dunking on people for their choice of programming languages. Unless they're using Perl to teach undergrads their first programming ever. Because that's just cruel and unusual. And not that I dislike Perl, I do use regular expressions fairly often. It's just really hard to understand. All right. Reorder. A function whose first argument is a vector and returns a scalar to be applied to each subset. Okay, so this does it programmatically. Yeah, whatever. It's not that important. So I'm just going to get rid of this because I have, again, misunderstood what it did. Yeah, and I think the point of the plot is fairly straightforward. And it is that the yes bar is very big and this no bar is fairly small. And yeah, that makes me happy. I'm glad I did a good content that was helpful for people. Excellent. Okay, so, and now we can hide this input. And did we hide this one? We hid this one as well. So the next thing that we wanted to look at was whether people would do more. And I think we can do pretty much the same thing as we did here. And this is just sort of like a little litmus test for us. Does it make sense for us to continue doing this? You know, the series of events that this is from. Let's do will do more. And we're clearly going to need to change the title. I just want to make sure that it works. Oh, and I actually do want to filter would do more is not equal to NA. Just so that we don't see the people who didn't. Oh, right. Looking for equivalents in NAs in R in particular is a little bit funky, so I believe what you need to do is you need to create a vector that tells you whether each level is in NA or not, and then get the inverse of it, and that is the case. And again, you can see the S bar is very good, very big, which makes me happy. Not that I want people to just answer questions in a way that is designed to make me happy. I want people to answer questions truthfully, but it's great to see that people are finding this helpful. Okay. There we go. And this one's probably going to be, yeah. So here is where I'm going to do my, nope, the other way, my new line. There we go. And now we can see it all in a single chart, and that looks good to me. And let's hide this one. So once you have your sort of template code that you can use for putting together charts, it's pretty easy to sort of flip through them and add some more stuff. Or at least I find it easy at this point. If you're just getting started with R or just getting started with ggplot, you may not. All right, so here we have, so there's some, let's actually come back to the helpful parts and do the difficulty and the exercise length next, because I think those are going to be much faster to do, because I just want to sort of look at the distribution of these. So ggplot, and then the aesthetic is difficulty. And then we want all the rest of these, this bar chart stuff. Yeah, all of that. Except, of course, the title is not going to be right. Excellent. And so what I want here is I am looking for, so I asked people whether they thought the difficulty was about right. And you can see some people were like, it was a little hard. Some people were like, it was a little easy. But most people were around 3, saying it's roughly about right, which is excellent. As a teacher, that is, I mean, not that I would call my like current day-to-day role a teaching role, but whenever I put together content or curriculum, it is really good to know if I'm sort of like judging where people are correctly. And then this one is going to be this next one, which was the length of each exercise. And that was called exercise length. And let's copy the question really quick. And this one is particularly important for me because I put this together specifically for people who have a job. I wanted to make sure it wasn't taking too much time or too little time, and it looks like I did a pretty good job. So this is very heartening, and I'm always happy to get any feedback, but like if it's good feedback, like that feels good, you know. Yeah, it feels good. Yeah, excellent. And this is the, I've done quite a few events in various capacities for the last year and a half. So it is good to know that I'm sort of getting a feel for what the Kaggle community really likes and the time that they have available to them. All right, so now we come to the slightly more interesting notebooks, forums, videos discussion. So one thing that I can do right away is I can just sort of look at So just sort of thinking aloud here. One thing that I could do is I could make my screen bigger so people can see anything at all. It's interesting to me to know if users or participants sort of fall into clusters. So people who really like the notebooks, people who, you know, really like the videos, people who really like the forums, are those the same people? Is there, you know, a relationship between what people are using? The problem here is that this is 3-dimensional. So if it's just, is that how you spell helpful? The more I look at it, the more wrong it looks, but I'm not great at spelling at the best of times, and it's the end of Friday afternoon, so I've got even less brain left. So if it's just 2 things, if we're just looking at the notebooks and the videos, I can do a sort of a heat map, looking at where people tend to fall. The fact that it is forums as well means that there's a 3rd dimension, so it's going to be a little bit harder. Yeah. Let's try the heat map. ggplot 2D heat map. Heat map of 2D bin counts. Just show me the version. Yeah, so I want something like this, basically, except it's going to be much smaller. It's going to be 3x3 because those are the options that you had. And it is Geom bin 2D. So let's do it. Let's try it. And does it specify what does it need in? Counts the number and by default maps the number of cases to a rectangle's fill. Actually, maybe a mosaic plot would be easier. I might do a mosaic plot instead. Mosaic pot. No, mosaic plot. And it looks like this. So in a mosaic plot, you have responses to one question on one side and then responses to another question on another side. Okay, I see. So they've gotten 3 levels by doing an interaction between 2 of them. So that's something we might be able to do. And then they faceted. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, let's use fascinate. And I like, so in, oh no, I've selected it. So in a mosaic plot, the area, a bigger area means more respondents responded in that way, and a smaller area means fewer respondents responded in that way. So I think that makes fairly good sense. And I'm just gonna copy and paste this code. All right. And I'm gonna get rid of a lot of this stuff and put it into a bunch of different layers, just so it looks a little bit better. Okay, so they're using the product here. Yeah. Let's see. So we're going to use our survey data. I'm just going to see if I can basically use this code wholesale and just sort of change things a little bit. And then we're creating a ggplot object, and then on top of that we're putting a mosaic, so we're not specifying the aesthetic in the plotting argument. I feel like I can actually specify the aesthetic in the plotting argument instead, and that will be fine. I mean, famous last words, but it should work. Oh, okay, and fill is also specified in the aesthetic argument. Let's move that back up there. All right, so let's do helpful notebooks, helpful videos, helpful notebooks, and then facet by helpful forums. And just get rid of this, all of these labels. Let's see if this works. It did not work. All right, so Geo Mosaic, Geo _ Mosaic. Is that not what it's called? Gigi Mosaic. Okay, so it's a new Gigi Mosaic. So this is actually in a different package, it looks like. So we're going to need to import it. And it didn't work when I specified which package it was from, which tells me that it may not actually be installed and we may need to install it. Yeah, it's not installed. So let's install it. Error. Mapping must be... Oh, no. I see. It is in fact installed. My problem is that I moved a static to ggplot and it should be passed to Geo Mosaic. It can't inherit. Okay. This is very hard to read. All right. Let's start by not doing the faceting. I think that's going to make it a little bit easier to read. Yeah, and we're also going to need to do a little bit of survey cleaning. So I'm going to get rid of any semicolons. I don't know why there's so many semicolons. I think that that's what they're using to show line breaks, which is a weird thing to do. And I always have to search this. I think it's string replace in R. Nope. In stringer is what I want, not PHP. Yeah. Okay, string pattern replacement. So I think stringer is in base R and base tidyverse. No, it's definitely not in base R. So I think I should be able to do pass in the whole data frame as a string and then replace semicolons with nothing. Let's see if that works. That did not work. Okay, well. Yeah. So what I was thinking was that I could use mutate and select a column and then treat those columns as character vectors, which they are, and then remove all the characters from each one of those. But I'm gonna have to do that 3 times because I've got 3 columns, and I'm gonna have to do it on 3 times, even if I use the select where function. So tidyverse, remove character from data frame. That is the question that I have. Don't tell me the answer is looping. lapply. I don't want to use lapply. Justwinder says mutate all. Oh. I don't think I've used mutate all. Apply the functions to all non-grouping columns. All right. Yeah, let's try that. And let's actually try this in a new... What is this called? A new cell block, a new code block. So survey, and then we're going to mutate all. String. Oh, I can just copy and paste this, huh? That's gonna work fine. Because I think my syntax is correct. Empty pattern not supported. Is it? Do I have stringer backwards? It is the strings. That's what we got. Pattern to look for. Replacement. String replace NA to turn missing values into NA. String replace. Okay, no, they definitely... Oh, maybe it should be string replace all. Maybe that's the problem. All right. Oh, so I've used the dot here to say whatever's the input to here. All right, so that's not correct. Oh, JustWonder says function names will be included if .fonts has names or mutateall fonts update. Maybe add white space replacement for. Well, okay, that didn't work. That was a quick, good thinking and a quick try. Function names will be included if .funds has names or mutable inputs by _species. Pipe to mute all fungs inches equals pipe divided by 2.5. All right. I think that's what I'm doing more or less. I'm reading a YouTube comment, so it looks like mutateall passes in all the columns and it applies a function to it. Maybe I need to say, Ryan on Twitch says, might be easier just redo all of it in Python and then use .string.replace. It would not be. Nice try. There's definitely an easy way to do this in Stringer. Stringer, remove character from data frame. $sign in R, remove part of a data string in R. Package text clean on Pran, June 2018. I haven't heard of this package. Tell me more. Tyler Rinker. Austin Dorf. Analysis friendly stuff. Oh, he's building on Mari's work. Okay. Place emoticon function. Okay. Place date, retract, contraction, number, rating, symbol, tag. Oh, nice. And there's a little automatic checking function. Sorry, I'm zoomed way out. I found something interesting and got excited. Unclean text may result in errors. Checks text for potential problems and suggests possible fixes. Factors, missing end punctuation, empty cells, double punctuation, non-space after comma, non-ASCII, missing value, potentially misspelled words. Ooh, it's got a spell checker. Oh, fancy. All right. Community example. Do I just pass in the whole data frame, maybe? Let's try that. Let's try passing in the whole data frame and see if that works. No. Okay, so it's coercing each one individually into a single character vector. So it looks like maybe I do need to apply it. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have done that into the mic. All right. We run the gsub function in conjunction with asNumeric. Gsub is used to specify specific text from one string with other text. Gsub 2. Yes, doing it in a column. All right. So it looks like gsub might work better. Except it's not a tidyverse one, so the name of the thing you're doing it to is going to go at the end. But will this be the same data structure out that I put into it? It will not. So, still helpful. All right. JustWonder says, oh, okay. So earlier you sent me a code example that has that had functions in it, and I thought that was the funs argument was the name of a function. It looks like maybe I was wrong about that. So let's try this. So this is a code example. I So it looks like this will replace spaces with nothing. So let's try replacing this with nothing, and then let's try survey and see if this works. Hey, thank you. Sorry for being bad at reading the thing that you sent to me that was the correct thing, and I appreciate it. Excellent. And now we don't have those, and let's also replace. Now this is going to be hard because there's, oh man, this is going to be a little bit of a logic puzzle. So we have, as you can see here, a backslash, forward slash, a slash, and then an apostrophe. And I believe that that is actually 3 slashes. And if we do that, nope. No, I want to, there we go. Because the backslash is a an escape character. So I think this one escapes this backslash and that backslash, and then this one is the actual character. Or these 3 are a backslash, and then this is, I don't know. I've just, at some point I just started guessing and testing with the number of backslashes. All right, so now when we do this, there we go, get you, my nice little cleanup code, and let's do this. We should have much more readable mosaic plots. Yeah, there we go. Except for this one, which is very small. So let's rotate the text really quick. Rotate text x-axis Gigi plot. I always have to look up how to do this. All right, it's a theme argument. So this may or may not show up because we're also applying a, oh, we aren't applying a theme. Okay, so this should work. Each element, oh, it's because I used a pipe instead of a plus. There we go, except I don't actually want them at a 90 degree, I want them at a jaunty little 45 degree. Is that gonna show up well? Yeah, excellent. So that is good and readable. And now all we need to do is add some helpful labels so we know what's going on. So xlab equals something, and then ylab equals something, but we're going to use spaces around our assignment operators because this is R and we like our style guides. And we don't want to look like Python programmers who are using R. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but there's, I don't know, there's like little stylistic things that sometimes are a little bit of a tell, and not having spaces around these, whatever these things are called, that's one of them. Helpful notebooks, and then helpful video were the questions that we asked here. Scroll, 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 scroll. We're just gonna have to rewrite those questions because it was like a little radio button box thing. How helpful were the notebooks? Question mark. Don't need that. And then the Y lab can be how helpful were the recordings. I want to make sure we add a plus in there. And this should be a beautiful, helpful thing, except it's not. Oh, that's right, that's right, that's right, that's right. These are functions. Yeah. Awesome. I actually don't like the fill. Goodbye, Phil. Yeah, I think that's better. Excellent. So we have, let's get rid of this. Done all of our data cleaning and our plotting. So the only thing I would have to do left, well, I'm just going to do it, would be to do the same thing, but look at the forums, I think I called it. Forums. There we go. And we can see that people mostly found that their plot was too small to show up very well. Mostly people thought stuff was very helpful. They found the notebooks were very helpful. The forums actually were fairly helpful for folks. Yeah, with people who found the notebooks not very helpful, also finding the forums a little bit less helpful. So yeah, there's a small group of people where neither the forums nor the notebooks were very helpful for them, which I'm sad to hear that, but also it wasn't very many people. So that's good to know. All right, so that is hide the input. Hide the input. Pretty much all that I had for this survey data. I need to finish up some more stuff, and then I'm gonna send the report around to my coworkers so they can see it and find out how it went and what people thought. Thanks for joining me. I hope it was useful, even if I was using R, which I know some people, it's not their favorite, but for this type of thing where you're literally just working with tables and making graphs, it's just, there's such nice tooling. I find it very user-friendly. I'm trying to do the same thing in Seaborn. It's just like, blah. All right, and now a little, here's one I just made, I guess. Not like in cooking shows where like, here's one I made earlier. I didn't make one earlier. I just made one right now. And that's what it looks like. So it's a little visual report that's loading correctly. That sort of tells you what people thought, except I forgot to hide those last two cells input. Yeah, so that's what I've got for today. I'm gonna be back on Wednesday for more of the reading group. We're gonna keep working on the Attention is All You Need paper. And after we're done with that, we might do the BERT paper, which is, I mean, more NLP stuff. That's what I'm interested in, and have the background in to be reading at, you know, a professional level. So that's what we're gonna be doing, because that's what I like. Yeah, thanks for joining me. Have a great weekend, and stay safe if you're in a place that celebrates New Year over the weekend. Drive safe, watch out for cars, you know, make good choices. And I will see you all on Wednesday. Talk to you then. Bye.